Yeah, DYR105 welcome to the Weekend Drive Show. And just as promised, the time is 15 minutes past 4. And we have the one and only, the legendary Mr. Bob Mabena. How are you, sir?
I'm very well on a Saturday afternoon, and yourself?
Never better, never better. You know, for people like myself and my co-host Noks, we know who you are. Like, we're well versed with your achievements and everything. But for someone who's of a younger age, who's not really, you know, familiar with Mr. Bob Mabena, can you tell us, 3 decades ago, you decided that, okay, in Bophuthatswana, you decided, I'm going to be a radio broadcaster. Can you maybe enlighten us on the events that led to you becoming a broadcaster?
Well, excuse me, since grade 8, I was fortunate enough and blessed enough. Not many people get this opportunity, you know, to know what they want to do at such an early age. But very early on, I knew that on radio is where I wanted to be. So I started up in the clubs. I was a club DJ and one radio boy out in Atteridgeville in west side of Pretoria. And a DJ from Radio Bob saw me play at a nightclub, and he was like, "Nah, you don't belong here. You belong on radio." You know, the late Sekgale Mokhotsi. And we made a deal that if I teach him how to mix, he will at least get me through the door at Radio Bob.
Wow!
Now, I don't know how you guys know this, but you can teach anyone who is not tone deaf how to mix in a week. You'd be able to, as long as you're not tone deaf. So within a week, he was ready to mix, and he was doing very well. And he kept his promise and put me through the door, and then the rest is history. I mean, I stayed at his house with his mom and siblings for about 3 months or so. He used to sneak me into the Radio Bob studios. I mean, he's the only person that I knew at Bophuthatswana at the time. So yeah, you know, one day I was auditioned and I got the gig.
Oh, that's great. That's very, 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 very interesting because, you know, even telling us the whole part of you guys making that negotiation, it's very, you don't really come across those opportunities now where someone's like, you teach me your trade and I'll also...
Like a barter system.
Yes.
Yeah, that is true.
So now, can you also just enlighten us on some of the obstacles, the challenges that you faced, and how you were able to overcome them to get to the point where you are?
Well, before I met Sekgale, I had sent demo tapes everywhere. I sent to Radio Bob themselves. I sent to Metro. I sent to 5 FM. They were Radio 5 at the time. And all of them came back with, at age 18, you're too young, you can't do this, you don't sound too great, and you know? And when I got to Bob, yes, Aldrin did, bless his soul, get me through the door, but it took a while to actually get in. I mean, there were times when I used to sleep at reception, you know, and wait for an opportunity to get in. And, I mean, you know, when you are born to do something, you pray about it and you focus on it. I believe there's very little that can stop you, you know, because I persisted and persisted and persisted. And after persisting, I persisted even more. And then I got in. Fortunately, someone had messed up on air and they were like, "Hey, man, there's a guy who's always walking around here. Where is he?" You know, and that day I was auditioned live. In that studio, there was probably about 6 people who were auditioning me, and I don't even remember who they were because I was in it. I was playing the music and back announcing, and I got the gig immediately.
Wow.
One audition, and I aced it, you know. But I think it has a lot to do with the fact that it takes determination and focus and talent, you know. But talent is like the smaller percentage. It's like probably a little bit less than 10%. The rest is attitude, determination, and focus. Yeah.
All right. And so from Radio Pop in 1989, you know, you're still like a small fry in this huge ocean that we call the radio industry. And you got your first award in 1994, and then from then onwards, you just got more awards, award on award.
Climbing.
Can you also like take us through that journey? Like, what happened? How did you get to that point where you became a multi-award winning media personality?
It's double dipping, you know. Entertainment is entertainment is entertainment. That is why now you will see a Beyonce also acting, also producing, also doing. I mean, I think if you understand what people want and how they want it, and you know you can deliver it, why not? You know? I mean, I still, to date, I don't like doing TV. I must be honest. I really don't like doing TV. I think radio is better. Radio is more challenging because you have to draw pictures for people. And whatever picture the people draw is their picture. Whereas with television, what you see is what you get, you know? I mean, if I said to you, go to Edgar's now and you find a red dress. It could be ruby red, it could be blood red, it could be, but the thing about it is that what happened, you went to Edgar's. If you find that dress is not the right color or it doesn't have the right straps or whatever, you're still going to buy something at Edgar's, right? Because you're there anyway. That's the power of radio. Whereas on television, they show you the exact red, where the slit is, if it's spaghetti straps, is it knee high, is it all the way to the ankles? You make up your mind already. No, that's not my kind of dress. You're not going to go to Edgar's because you've seen it already, you know?
Exactly.
But that's the beauty. I've never really, I've got to be honest, I've never liked doing TV. It's the makeup thing, the lights, and the cuts, and you start all over again. And with radio, that's that, man. The microphone is on. You got to go. You make a mistake, you move on.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
Just as promised, we're still with the one and only Bob Mabena. How are you, sir?
Still doing well. Thank you so much. Enjoying the interview, man.
Yeah. You know, we were looking through your profile, like your biography. It says you were born, you know, the year you were born in and everything. But you don't look like you were born then. Like, what are your beauty secrets? Like, your secrets? Come on, you know? Hey,
Oh. She has great genes.
Great genes, man. Great genes. So we heard that you have a foundation. I think it's the Bob K. Mabena Foundation, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And it goes in line with you. It also goes in line with you climbing the corporate ladder, because we've seen that you've been in positions here. You've been a director here, there, and there. Like, you know, the list goes on. We'd love to know what steps you went through in order for you to climb the corporate ladder in that way.
Learning. You know, people would buy what appeals to them when it comes to reading material, right? If you're into biographies, you would buy the Michelle Obama book or the Bonang book. If you're into, I'm mostly into business, you know. People like John C. Maxwell. I'm into strategy, and I also went to Gibbs as well. And I graduated in strategy formulation and delivery. So this is where my strength is. When I join companies, I do turnaround strategies. That's my strength. I love that kind of stuff, and mostly love working with underdogs. I mean, at some stage, I was MD of Gagasi FM. So it's that kind of stuff. That's what I like doing.
So in order for you to climb the ladder, as you said, you were learning. You got through, like, you educated yourself. You went to school for it, like for radio. Did you study radio, or was it just a gift for you?
No, radio came in as a gift from upstairs, you know. And it has a lot to do with the Tiger Woods principle, you know. And Tiger Woods and David Beckham, for me, were the guiding lights. What they say is, you know, the thing that you do the most is what you become. I practiced and practiced and practiced, and again, after practicing, what did I do? I practiced some more, you know? And even now, I mean, I'm learning from, I don't have people that I look up to that are older. Majority of people that I look up to are younger people, because I believe that, you know, they can kind of have an instinct of what the next thing is going to be. The more you hang out with people your age, I believe in it. That's my principle. If it's wrong for someone else, it is. But for me, it's turned out to be right. That I learn from younger people, and I always listen. I mean, younger people have shown me. I mean, even with my kids now, they're teaching me this TikTok thing. I don't know what the hell it is.
Oh, the craze of TikTok. My goodness.
Yeah.
So if you stay only on Facebook, you're not going to get the traction that you need. You know, most people my age are on Facebook. But I find that you lose quite a lot when you don't hang out with the younger people. I've learned so much from young people, and I'm one of those people who believe that there's no such thing as a lost generation. The youth in this country are working very hard. We just don't honor them enough.
Yes, preach to the choir. Definitely preach to the choir. Now, can you just take us through your current position at MSG and Power FM?
Well, I had 3 positions. I was on air. I was the station manager, and I was also head of programming in terms of taking care of programming for all the radio stations at MSG. But obviously, you know, if I was doing a midnight show or a daytime show like 9 to 5, these things would be easy to do. But when you're on breakfast, you need to really, really focus. So I had to let go of the one position of station manager, which I'm happy I did. So now I'm only doing two things. I'm only on breakfast and also head of programming.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, and that also helps. Like, so I'm assuming you relieving of one position, it also helped you, you know, with balancing your family time and having a busy schedule at the same time.
You know, it's weird. I've never believed in balance. You know, because balance is a job all on its own. If you're doing two or more things, it's better to synchronize than to balance, you know? Because if you're trying to balance, you'll be wondering, did I do enough of the other stuff? Did I do more of that stuff? But when you're synchronizing, you are aware and accepting that you're doing the one thing more than the other, and next time you'll do the other more than the other. Balance is too much work. I don't believe in balance. I believe in synchronization.
Wow. That's the first time I've heard of that, you know, balancing and synchronizing. That's really amazing. Really amazing. And we hear that you're speaking about talking to the youth. I'm assuming that since you're learning new things, would love to know, you know, like in closing, what can we expect in the near future from Bob Mabena?
Well, I intend to very soon get more involved with community radio. You know, because I think community radio has so much to offer. And I think the market itself is not taking community radio seriously for various reasons. And one of the reasons is that community radio can actually be more professional than what it is. I think community radio tends to relax itself, even though, you know, sometimes it's unfair to generalize. There are some serious community radio stations that do a lot of good work. But you see, the thing is, if you're watching a team of 11 on a football field and one player is not doing enough, then it doesn't help the whole team, the whole 11. You got to have all 11 players doing their best. So even if it's one community radio station that's not doing well, it'll be like, oh, community radio stations are not doing well. So you got to get all of them performing at maximum, and you'll get them to compete. Because in essence, what should be happening is that a prospective radio presenter or program manager or music scheduler should start at a community radio station and then graduate to commercial. You know, the reason why you have the recycling, as it were, of talent is because not many presenters and other people who are on community radio are learning enough to make that leap.
Yeah. Wow. That's very powerful from you, sir. But, you know, I would love to maybe sometime another... Oh, yes, Noks.
Yes. I just want to pose a question, you know, basing on what you're saying with regards to community radio and then going right at the beginning of the interview where you also shared your story of how you just kept on being there, going, even though you weren't getting the opportunity. What advice would you give to someone who's sitting at home and is like, I want to get to the same level that Bob Mabena is at? Which avenue am I supposed to use? How am I supposed to keep on pushing? Even though I'm sending my demos, I'm approaching these people, but nothing's happening. What must I do? How can I continue lighting the fire that burns within me to keep on pushing in order for me to eventually find someone who will be like, hey, I recognize you. Why don't you come? And ABC.
I'm afraid I don't have good news. I'm not sure you're gonna like what I'm gonna say, but demos simply do not work, right? Any program manager of a commercial radio station will tell you that on an average day, they get no less than 20 demos. Now, if I'm a program manager and I've got to take care of the radio station, the strategy, the DJs, do sales meetings, answer to the station manager, do board presentations, how much time do you think I will get to listen to demo tapes? You know? There's got to be other ways of getting in, and I think a lot of people focus too much on the on-air part, right? Start somewhere else. The greats like Stan Cads, who ran Prime Media, which includes 94.7 and 702, started in the mailroom. You know, this guy used to collect the mail from the post office and then distribute the mail within the station. Start with identifying your favorite radio presenter, make them coffee. Print copies for them, find stories for them, produce for them, get noticed one way or another. I mean, The last time I hired someone with a CV is about probably 15 years ago.
What?
Right now, I don't look at a CV. It means nothing to me. What I look at is the determination. You can't fake determination. Passion you can fake. I don't like it when people say on their Facebook or Instagram profile, I have passion. I'm like, well, how do you know? It's the person who's looking at your work who will say you have passion. But determination you can't fake. You can see when someone is heading somewhere. There's a sparkle in their eye. There's something about their energy that's really amazing. There's something about how they push harder, how when every door gets closed in their face, they keep opening a little window, and get in. So try different ways. You can't go from nowhere to on air. Very few people are that lucky. Back then, there weren't that many people in 1989 who wanted to be on radio. For many people, it was like, it's the impossible dream. I can't do it. I got to go to varsity and do a communication course and. I got lucky. It was through God's grace, quite frankly, and praying about this stuff. But now, everybody and their puppy wants to be on air. So, there's gatekeeping like nobody's business. So you got to find a different way to get it. Produce for most presenters are lazy, unfortunately. And that's a good thing because you, outside of radio, can think of an idea and sell it to a radio presenter and not just sell them the idea, sell them how to do it, when to do it, and what it will do to make them shine. Learn about radio. What is a radio clock? What's a jingle? What's a liner? What's a promo? What does stationality mean? All those things help. They go a long way because, as I said, radio presenters tend to get lazy. Get in there. It's an opportunity for you to help a radio presenter be the best that they can. Next thing you know, bam, you become his boss. You become the program manager. Yeah.
Wow. And we'd love to know, so thank you very much for the interview, by the way. Thank you for giving us your time.
Thank
pleasure. Thank you very much.
But if I want to get into contact with Bob Mabena, so what avenues do I go through? Where are you available?
I'm not one of those people who hide my details because people will find them anyway. But email is the best way. So it's bob.m@power987.co.za.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for the interview.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much and have a fantastic day.
Thank you. You too. All right, so that was a very, very interesting interview we had with the legendary Bob Mabena.
Very.
Yes, and the time is 39 minutes past 4. For now, we're going to be giving you Lady Zamar with It's You Dreaming, and we're going to go back to our topic of discussion for the day. Stay tuned, you're still on The Weekend Drive.